Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Warriors fans love Jimmy Butler. He re-energized the team last season, but he slowed down in the playoffs and didn't perform as well. Stephen Curry wants his fifth title, and teaming up with LeBron James is in Curry's plans. Trade rumors: Warriors to bring in LeBron James in exchange for Jimmy Butler in early 2026. The Los Angeles Lakers appear open to moving on from LeBron James and giving the keys to Luka Doncic. In a recent hypothetical trade idea, the organization would not only make that a reality, but also receive a standout forward in the process. The Lakers really don't love the idea of taking on Jimmy Butler's contract, especially with LeBron's contract due to expire at the end of the 2025-26 season, Sports Illustrated's Dan Angel wrote Tuesday. They want to be free of LeBron's contract, but there's no way to do that before the end of 2026 without taking equal value back. So they'd demand something to sweeten the deal, which the first-round selection in 2028 provides. Los Angeles wants to start building around Luka Doncic, and stockpiling draft picks makes that more feasible. Butler also keeps the Lakers competitive. He's a defensive whiz and remains a strong shooter, even at age 36. For clarity, Angle's trade concept sends James and his son Bronny to the Golden State Warriors for Butler and a 2028 first-round pick. The Warriors acquired Butler from the Miami Heat in early February, hoping the six-time All-Star could give the sluggish organization a boost on both ends. Unsurprisingly, Butler did just that, helping the Dubs secure 48 regular season victories and win their first play-in contest to earn the number 7 seed in the Western Conference. While the Marquette product was unassertive at times during Golden State's second-round matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he played well under the circumstances. Curry was sidelined due to a grade 1 calf strain. The aging two-way stud contributed 20.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game in the franchise Western Conference semifinals loss. James is unquestionably on a different stratosphere despite being 5 years older, but the Lakers would still be in championship contention with Butler as their third star. Warriors: Jonathan Kuminga haven't spoken in weeks amid contract standoff. Jonathan Kuminga's contract negotiations with the Golden State Warriors have hit a wall. According to the San Francisco Standard's Danny Immerman, the two sides haven't spoken in weeks, and there's a distinct possibility that the stalemate could stretch through August. The Warriors and Kuminga's camp haven't had contact for a couple of weeks, wrote Immerman, as he remains at a standstill. There's a distinct possibility that negotiations, or lack thereof, could continue through August. The silence comes after weeks of stalled talks over the structure of Kuminga's next deal. While both sides are believed to have an interest in continuing the partnership, the sticking points appear to center on contract length, guarantees, and player control, factors that could significantly shape Kuminga's role and future with the franchise. Golden State offered Kuminga a 2-year, $45 million contract that is essentially a 1-year deal. The proposal reportedly is not guaranteed for the second year and would require Kuminga to relinquish his no-trade clause in the first. Kuminga, 22, was drafted 7th overall by the Warriors in 2021. After a modest rookie campaign, which ended in a championship for the Warriors, he took on a bigger role for his team, settling into a premium spot in the rotation by the 2023-24 season. The early success, however, did not last for Kuminga. As the Warriors struggled to keep up with competitors, Kuminga's inexperience and youth were seen as an increasing burden on the franchise. It all built up to last season, his fourth in the NBA, when Kuminga's role became unstable. In 47 games, he started just 10 times, with averages dipping from 16.1 points in 26.3 minutes to 15.3 points in 24.4 minutes. By the time the playoffs rolled around, Kuminga was on bad terms with the Warriors due to frequent DNPs and what he saw as a lack of opportunity to grow. Now that Kuminga is a restricted free agent, the situation has turned dire as both sides remain far apart on a new contract. For Kuminga, it's clear he wants a more secure offer, with multiple years and, at the very least, a $30 million salary. Meanwhile, the Warriors prefer a short-term deal worth about $22.5 million per year. While there has been talk of a potential sign-and trade, or even Kuminga accepting the $7.9 million qualifying offer, no solution is in sight right now, despite training camp being roughly 6 weeks away. As the standoff has rolled into mid-August, it's threatening more than just the Warriors' relationship with Kuminga. The situation has put a halt to the signing of Al Horford, who remains unaffiliated as the organization tries to negotiate with Kuminga. With no direct contact between the Warriors and their disgruntled young star for weeks, it's clear that they are not on good terms right now. Even if a deal gets done, repairing the trust between player and franchise may prove impossible. If Golden State can't bridge the gap soon, they risk not only losing one of their most promising young players but also further straining a roster already in transition. Whether Kuminga stays or goes, the Warriors' handling of this standoff could leave a lasting mark on their future, and on how other young stars view the organization. Warriors have only one real reason to refuse to trade Buddy Hield. They're hoping he can plug and play. As the Golden State Warriors enter the first full year of their self-defined, 2-year championship window, all the front office's energy must be on maximizing the remainder of superstar Stephen Curry's career. With this intention in mind, they have made clear that they are looking for players who can immediately fit into the team's rotation and be reliable on both ends of the floor, revealing the reason behind their unwillingness to trade sharpshooter Buddy Hield this offseason. Although Hield is largely a streaky shooter, and has been for much of his career, the Warriors are evidently hoping that he can become a more reliable scorer off the bench for a team desperately in need of more perimeter shooting, rendering him one of the biggest X factors on the roster next season. Hield must become the plug-and-play piece that the Warriors are searching for. When Hield came back in the emotional Klay Thompson trade, fans and the organization alike had high hopes for the guard's potential impact beside Curry. Prior to his coming to the Bay, Hield was a 40% career three-point shooter on high volume, and many hoped that this trend would help Golden State elevate their offense immensely in the absence of Thompson. Yet, Hield's effectiveness waxed and waned throughout his first season with the Warriors. Although he shot 37% from beyond the arc on the season, he had multiple brutal shooting stretches that hindered his reliability within head coach Steve Kerr's rotation. Still, it should not be forgotten that Hield had some of the highest highs on Golden State's roster last season. Across Game 7 against the Houston Rockets and Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, Hield shot an astounding 14-4-19 from three-point range, propelling the Warriors to back-to-back wins in the playoffs. As NBA insider Jake Fisher reported on the latest edition of the Steinline newsletter, Golden State is decidedly seeking out players who can immediately become reliable pieces of the rotation in any potential Jonathan Kuminga sign-and trade. If Hield is able to level out some of the valleys in his game, perhaps through a slightly reduced role on the bench, he could certainly become that player for the Warriors, leveraging his skills as a sharpshooter to flip games in the team's favor during the non-Curry minutes. Therefore, the team's unwillingness to part from Hield in a Kuminga trade likely signifies their belief that he can evolve into this player within the team's system, a faith that may leave some fans highly skeptical. Warriors' nightmare Al Horford scenario gets another jolt from ESPN. This isn't what fans wanted to hear. Golden State Warriors fans are waiting for the Jonathan Kuminga situation to be resolved before the team signs free agent Al Horford. At least, that's what they hope will happen. There is no guarantee Horford will play for Golden State, and ESPN dropped a reminder on Monday. Anthony Slater wrote that people around the league believe Horford will sign with the Warriors once everything is settled, but that he is also still considering retirement. The 39-year-old could call it a career rather than make the move to San Francisco. It's not as if Horford wants to give it one more try in hopes of winning an NBA title. He won his first championship in Boston a year ago. Sure, he could help the Warriors win another with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, but that isn't as big of a priority as it would be otherwise. The fact that retirement is still on the table speaks volumes. Al Horford still considering retirement amid Warriors' pursuit. Golden State hasn't made any free agency signings or trades because the Kuminga situation remains unresolved. The Warriors offered a 2-year, $45 million deal with a team option in the second season, and removing the no-trade clause, but Kuminga doesn't want the team to have that control. ESPN reported that Kuminga picking up his $7.9 million qualifying offer is more appealing to him than the Warriors' current pitch. That tells you everything you need to know about the current state of affairs between him and the organization. It's a saga that has drawn out far longer than fans had hoped for. It'd be a double blow if Horford decided to retire, rather than give the Warriors a much-needed center. Yes, Horford is old and has his limitations, but he is a missing piece that Golden State needs. He's a missing piece that Draymond would appreciate the Warriors having. Horford's future doesn't boil down to Golden State or retirement. He could always decide to sign with another team, like the Lakers. Even though the league-wide consensus is that Horford will end up with the Warriors if he chooses to continue playing, that doesn't mean it'll come true. It could change at a moment's notice. The sooner Golden State can end the standoff with Kuminga, the better. Duh. The fact is that we're approaching mid-August, and there isn't a light at the end of the tunnel. Please, let it end soon, and to the Warriors' benefit. Warriors just handed Jonathan Kuminga pivotal leverage on a silver platter. This might not end well. The Golden State Warriors might have thought they had everything figured out when they offered Jonathan Kuminga a 2-year, $45 million contract, but they didn't get the reaction they hoped they would. Probably because the second year included a team option, and they wanted him to waive the no-trade clause that would come with that deal. The chance that Kuminga will accept his $7.9 million qualifying offer grows more real with each news drop. ESPN reported on Monday that the forward has indicated to those close to him that the $7.9 million qualifying offer is more appealing to him than the Warriors' current pitch. If he takes the qualifying offer, he'd become an unrestricted free agent next summer, meaning he could leave Golden State for nothing. His salary wouldn't be tradable if the Warriors wanted/needed to make a big pre-deadline upgrade. There is a risk for Kuminga if he accepts the qualifying offer, as there is no guarantee that a $20+ million offer will be on the table next season. He'd be banking on good health for the majority of the season, too. That isn't guaranteed in an 82-game season. Even with the cons of Kuminga taking the $7.9 million, it seems to be something that he's prepared to do. Jonathan Kuminga can take qualifying offer and screw the Warriors. Golden State is one of many teams crossing its fingers that Giannis Antetokounmpo will request a trade. If that happened, the Warriors could offer Kuminga in a deal. They need Kuminga to have a salary that could help match Antetokounmpo's. Making $7.9 million for one season won't cut it. Kuminga doesn't want to give Golden State more control by taking the 2-year offer, which is understandable, especially given the current situation. Over a month has passed since the start of free agency, and it doesn't look like there will be a Kuminga Warriors resolution anytime soon. He and his agent aren't backing down. He has until October 1st to decide on his qualifying offer. Golden State might think that Kuminga's camp is trying to put pressure on the organization by making them believe he could take the offer. Perhaps that is part of it, but the Warriors can't discount the very real possibility that it could happen. At this point, it wouldn't be surprising if it's what Kuminga decides to do. Jonathan Kuminga can take qualifying offer and screw the Warriors. Golden State is one of many teams crossing its fingers that Giannis Antetokounmpo will request a trade. If that happened, the Warriors could offer Kuminga in a deal. They need Kuminga to have a salary that could help match Antetokounmpo's. Making $7.9 million for one season won't cut it. Kuminga doesn't want to give Golden State more control by taking the 2-year offer, which is understandable, especially given the current situation. Over a month has passed since the start of free agency, and it doesn't look like there will be a Kuminga Warriors resolution anytime soon. He and his agent aren't backing down. He has until October 1st to decide on his qualifying offer. Golden State might think that Kuminga's camp is trying to put pressure on the organization by making them believe he could take the offer. Perhaps that is part of it, but the Warriors can't discount the very real possibility that it could happen. At this point, it wouldn't be surprising if it's what Kuminga decides to do.